Hello and welcome back to another 7 Days to Die dev stream recap video. In this week's video, they were talking with the art directors and concept artists, graphic artists, about what has been added into the Alpha 21 update. So we will take a look at that here. So first off, they kind of went over the art process, how they get from like the paper design all the way to the finished product. This is kind of just like something that's a little more interesting if you're into graphic arts or game development, things like that. I just thought it was kind of a neat little thing that they pointed out. They didn't really touch much on it. They also showed off some technical art. Again, like kind of how they get to certain places and how they get to certain things. They showed off some in the middle there. There's some technical POI lighting, so you got some different color lightings, some new props, foliage, just different things like that. Next thing they kind of touched on was the trader location concepts, which we did get to see some of in the first dev stream, but they kind of showed us a little more in depth, and then they showed us a first look at Trader Hugh's compound, and they also showed off Trader John's. So they kind of showed off Trader Bob again, and then they went and looked at Trader Jen, which is coming up here. These are kind of zoomed in, but these aren't very high res pictures, so you can't really see much. Jen's place is now over at a church, which is already an existing POI in the game. And then this last one here, that's kind of the treehouse, is that was Hugh's. So now we got some new signs for Hugh's, or for Trader Hugh. Jen gets 2 new signs, so that's kind of interesting. We already saw Bob's salvage sign, and then they did a little update to Trader Joel's sign. Now, they then started showing off some photos and some images that will be in Trader Hugh's compound. This is, again, kind of going back onto the world building that they were talking about in the first stream, in regards to the traders. So they're kind of going more in depth on what the traders' kind of background and lore is. Here we see some firearm signs and other things of the sort. They really get to talk about how they got to try and delve deep into each trader's backstory. Next, they showed off the new achievement icons for both Xbox and Steam. Nothing really that big here. They do look kind of nice. I like the motif. I like the red background with the black icon, but not really that big of a deal. But they did show it off, something they've been working on, so they look pretty nice. The next thing they head into is the specifically went and did a lot of rebranding of the alcohol, and a lot of this was also, as you can see there, worked on with Epicdemic, which is the company they outsourced a lot of this work to. So this first one here is the tequila, and then they also did a bourbon. We got the bourbon next, which I'm gonna be honest, like I like how these look. They're pretty cool, pretty rugged looking. And then I believe the final alcohol that they had was a vodka. So I don't know, I appreciate that they're kind of going into more of the finer details of the game, and working out the different stuff for that, and maybe just making up a little bit of lore or feeding into the lore of the game. I think that's kind of needed. That'll help kind of round out and flesh out the game in the long run. The next big thing that they showed off was the new candy overhaul. So all the candies got a relatively new look. a lot of them stayed the same, or at least similar to what they were, minus the health bar. That's changed quite a bit. But yeah, this is just kind of going with the updates that they have, showing off the new like the vending machine and stuff, which we'll see here in the future. Also, they did show off some of the new assets that are going into the vending machines. So there's all these here, and like you can zoom in, and they actually have calorical values and like things like that. Like that's all filled out. So it's not accurate. These are all fake things, but it's just kind of neat that they took that time. Even though in game you're never going to really be able to see them, because they're going to be on these bags here in the vending machines, which, like I said, they kind of went back over these vending machines, showed them to us in a few different applications here. Then they had some more of Trader Hugh's kind of wall decals. These are obviously some target practice. I believe they said that the one in the game that is actually the model in game is in the bottom row middle. And then yeah, I don't know, they also made some military-esque medals. Obviously couldn't do exactly what the medals are in the military, because that's illegal to copy them like that. But they look really cool. They also added in these cool like schematic blueprint type things of what each of the weapons are, which honestly I think are really cool. I believe Guns, Nerds, and Steel said this, but I think I could totally see them selling these and in like the target practice posters and some of the other posters as like merch to buy. I totally could see them doing that. That'd be really cool. I would buy some of these. Like this is for the fully automatic tactical rifle. It was also really funny during the live stream. The artist that did all of these continuously talked about how he knows absolutely nothing about guns, and yeah, it was just very interesting. So a lot of the things, like on that last one that said automatical, he did that on purpose to be funny. So it's very interesting. I really like the flags they have here. They had a large take on like military-esque, the "Don't Tread on Me." The POW flag on the bottom that's like an homage to the POW MIA flag, and then the top flag is Marine Corps, I believe. Those again were the postcards that would be in Joel or in Hugh's area. This is just a picture of the lighting and how these posters and schematics and things will look on the walls. Here's another like kind of framed aircraft photo. So it's just kind of cool that they are adding these things and making the world feel more lived in. The tank photo, there's one of the targets, which I don't actually know if we see that in game, they said. But if you really take the time to read some of those signs, especially the ones like about the guns on premises and stuff like that, like they got some pretty funny dialogue that I could definitely see for some of these traders to have. So I kind of like the idea of what they're doing here. Like here's some more of these signs: safety first, just a bunch of different things that you'll be able to find, and in the traders at least. These are the two targets that you will find. The next thing they really talked about were these kits. What we're looking at here, these kind of like yellow CDC tent type things, can be found throughout the world. Here they're set up in Jen's compound, but you can find these tents found, from my understanding, just kind of randomly throughout the world. They're not tied to a POI of any sort. There's also the checkpoints that we saw from the first live stream that are similar in fashion. I believe they're kind of calling them kits, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But really what it is, they can come in an amalgamation of different setups here. This is just kind of a base little square. And they have a few different styles to them. I think coming up here we get to see some slides of just the different pieces that they have of them. So and then we get to look at the interiors. We can just kind of see how they're set up. It's just like basic tent, like a basic not hazmat, but like FEMA tent. This is like a little different style looking one, a little more run down. I believe it's basically just like a different color, and you get to see some of the equipment that you could find inside of them. It's kind of a neat idea. I like the concept. I think it's kind of cool. It adds to the world building again of like the zombie apocalypse and people just kind of up and left. And just left things. So yeah, these are all the different pieces, and they can come in a multitude of different configurations, they said, for the tents. So you saw like the bigger long rectangle one, also the normal like little square one. I don't know, it'll be interesting. So they showed them through the process of concept art and 3D render models, and then the final product, which being someone who studied a little bit of graphic arts, that's just kind of interesting for me to look at. So here's one final look at just again what Trader Jen has, or presumably Trader Jen has. I guess this could change. The next thing that we got to see was doors. Again, we have so many doors, and they showed us a little more of the functionality of the doors. There's 4 different stages of damage to the doors that you can see here. They showed off a bunch of double doors again, tons of things. So we're just gonna kind of quick speed through all this. You can just see them working here as they go. That one broke in the end. But yeah, you can just see the damage work through it. I don't believe they show off how you can damage people through them. The closet doors are pretty cool. Also, don't freak out about those zombies. Those are just placeholders for what they're like building in here. So those are not actual in-game zombie models. But yeah, here's just a look of some of the new double doors. I really like how giant those double door fence gates were. That was pretty sweet. Here's a look at some of the sliding glass doors. I think they show off an elevator door at one point too. I like this more like commercial grocery store, obviously. Sliding door, it's pretty cool. Not sure if it's a craftable one. This also really impressed me. This roll up garage door was super cool, I thought. I hope that's craftable. The elevator's cool. I believe this is going to come more into play in Alpha 22, but we'll talk about that later. Also, there you saw the new look of the hatches. What do you want to call them? The vault doors, I guess is what they're called. And then that's what they look like broken. So here we went and looked at, again, some of the forges or the workbenches coming to Alpha 22, Alpha 21, excuse me. So everything in the back is Alpha 21. We got the workbench. The thing in the middle with the open sign is the player vending machine. On the right is the forge. And then in the front there, you see those 3 boxes. Those are new rideable crates. But big thing is those are all coming to Alpha 22 Plus, if you see down in the lower right hand corner, which 22 Plus basically I think is Gold Edition, and we got a lot of that coming here. So some of this here, we have some new vehicle models. These are not drivable vehicles, these are just new vehicle models you can find in the world and break down and loot. These are going to be coming to Alpha 21 to my knowledge, and then they showed off some of the broke down versions of them as well. Oh, we also have I forgot about these, the fire truck and the sleeper semi-cab. Pretty cool. I wonder if these are going to be similar to like the buses where you have like a 50-50 chance of the engine and battery, I believe it is. But here's the little excavator, not little, here's the excavators and the backhoe. They also showed off the new signs again, but also the big thing is the Duke Casadores Casino Hotel sign, which that is Alpha 22 Plus, as you can see. But that is a totally new area that we're going to be getting. We get to see more of that towards the end of the video here as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it'll be super interesting. I think I kind of like the storyline, or thought of a storyline. Next they showed off some of the fire hazard piping and the concept artist, or the artist who was kind of behind making this and creating it, just kind of got to talk about it, show off how they kind of worked around the walls, some more flags and things that they're working on, new mailboxes, a little more variation in that, some desks, kind of minor things. The next thing that caught my attention were these metal siding pieces, I guess you could say. I was kind of confused, and a lot of other YouTubers were very confused, I feel like, too, from what I've heard, until they showed the application of these, because I didn't quite get it. But then they showed these pictures, and it all made sense. It is siding for the trader's walls to kind of make it look like it's been patched, or like added to and patched on to make it more sturdy. And I freaking love the concept. It totally adds to that element of like despair of like, we tried everything to fortify, we used everything we could to fortify it the best we could. Same kind of goes with these wooden pallets. This is another like kit type thing, I believe, where you can build up, or they can build up different things. You can stack them and do different stuff with them. It's pretty interesting. I kind of like the different levels of destruction with them. It looks like you can do a whole lot with it, along with these spike walls. So if you see in the lower left there is the model where you have the one wall across with the spikes on it, but then you can see in the middle there was the 3 tall, so presumably you can stack those on top of each other, and only the top ones will have the spikes. It's kind of a dynamic piece like that. I'm not sure if it's craftable, we'll have to see for that. Here is the kind of the concept art of the forklift. They showed it in the like low poly model or whatever it's called, and then the final render here with its high res and everything. Same with the tractor. Now, before you guys get too excited, none of these vehicles are drivable. They did not add any new drivable vehicles to the game with this alpha, so these are just strictly out in the world. But this is what it looks like now, or not now, but what it's going to look like as a finished product. You know what, I really think they're doing quite well with a lot of these props. They're looking really good. I think they're nailing them. The next big thing now, and pretty much from here on out, is Alpha 22 Plus news, but they started showing off some of the outfits and the Bandit models. And now this is we're gonna show all the processes here, so like the low res, and then the in between stage, and then now the full-fledged character model. And I'm not gonna try and spoil anything, but really all these models look sweet. So we got to see the Bandit there. This is one of the outfit models that they have. This is the Wasteland Assassin, which looks really cool. His final model here that we're about to look at with the color, it looks freaking sweet. I like his chest armor with all the different what looks to be, or what it's supposed to be like throwable knives, but there's like the broken pair of scissors. It looks like a chisel and a screwdriver. Obviously you can't throw those because that's not how this game works, but it's just cool that they added this detail into it. He looks pretty sweet. Kind of reminds me of a like what would be like a steampunk assassin. And then here's just a back photo of him. Had to take a quick look at that. Next thing they showed off was this Overlord level 3, which is a tier 3 bandit boss, from my understanding. There's going to be a few different tiers of bandits. This will be kind of the leader of a crew, so he'll be a little bit more difficult, but he looks freaking sweet. And if I remember correctly, the artist that was working on these, when he was describing it, he was talking about pulling some inspiration and concept from when from his time working on the game Rage that came out. And once I heard him say that, it clicked in my head of like, yes, this very much so gives me a, not exactly like Rage vibes, but a similar feel to the game Rage without being like a carbon copy. And I just really like it. I'm here for it. I like this setup. This is going to be cool when they come out with these, when bandits come out and the factions come out, because they're supposed to have at least 2 different bandit factions. So we'll see. Next they showed off the Hoarder outfit set. So this is a player, like we can get any one of these items and use them and wear them. Presumably it's going to have some sort of perk for carrying capacity, I would think, because they were talking about how these outfits are going to do something for stat bonuses. But it's crazy, like, just the detail that they put into this character. It looks a little goofy. It's what a lot of people are saying. It's kind of weird, all the stuff you have. To me, I kind of like it. It's the apocalypse. There would be someone who'd be doing this. So the next thing they showed were new character models, and I don't know about you guys, but I think this was very needed in the world of 7 days. The characters currently look like, I don't know, children drew them. So this was a very nice thing to see. I really appreciated the fact that they are updating the characters and made them look way more realistic. These are some of the characters actually in game now that they have, so that's cool. Those are already in the game, ready to go for Alpha 22. And then they showed off, okay, one of the funniest things I think they showed off was the desert gear. So they showed this off. It's just another one of those outfits. It's presumably going to help you deal with the hot climate, hot temperature. And they showed this off both in the male, which is the current outfit we're looking at, and the female outfit. And boy, does it look goofy in the well, it doesn't look goofy in the female outfit. First off, it kind of almost looks exactly like Lara Croft, which you'll see when we get to it, but it also completely changes things. So here is the female desert gear, which like I said, basically is Lara Croft, but I believe is pre-built said. I don't understand why the clothing completely changed, or maybe it was Wayward Echo that said it. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I don't understand why it had to be completely different. The backpack completely changed. Like, I don't know. That seems a little too far stretched to be the same outfit. But the model looks nice. The character model looks good. Next thing they kind of showed was some possible new UI updates that they want to go to. This all sound very kind of up in the air about things. So who knows what that will become. The next thing is some player vehicle concepts for Alpha 22, which the 4x4 looks sweet. Not a lot of people like that mini bike look though, with the toilet seat on it. Kind of goofy is what it is though. These are the locations I was talking about. So on the left we got the Duke's Casino, and on the right was Noah's location, which the Duke's Casino here, if we zoom in, looks to be a pretty sweet, pretty giant building. It's gonna be a casino and hotel, supposedly a pretty big important piece. And now this is going to be Noah's compound, which Noah is the guy from the note that you get left in when you first start the game. Not really much known on it, but yeah, so that'll be kind of neat. Kind of the final thing here, they really dove into the lore. So Higashi Tower, or Higashi Company, becomes a big part of the lore in the long run. And then they have like all these notes and like papers that you can find around the game or around the world in different POIs that really, like, one of the artists wrote out all of these and like put them into the game. So just kind of a neat little thing. I like like I've said, 4 or 5 times I think now, I like the additional lore at addition, just because that makes a game feel more real. And these last things here are some whiteboards that you can find in game as well, that got quite a few Easter eggs if you take the time to go through and read them. As you can see on the bottom there, it says "Rip Sexy Rex" or Sexysaurus, so that's obviously a node to Sexual Tyrannosaurus that's going to be going in this alpha that's coming out. Yeah, I don't know, it's just great. All in all, I really like what they showed off. I'm excited for Alpha 21 to come out. I'm even more excited for Alpha 22, because I want those bandits, I want the story, I'm looking forward to those things. But that's about it, guys. I think this is where we're going to end the video. Thank you all for coming and checking it out, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.